Everybody. We are standing here outside of the connecting grounds at our current Commercial Street location. We just finished up outreach for the evening. We fed about 175 here tonight, so it was a busy evening. Letting everybody get a chance to jump on here. So here's what we're gonna do. I want to show you a couple of things. You're gonna get a tour and story time and all kinds of things. So you're gonna get announcements, and we're just really excited tonight to finally get to share with you some of the cool things that have been happening and going on. So here's what I want you to know first. We looked here in Midtown trying to find a location that was going to stay really close to home on Commercial Street for us and for all of those that we've been serving. And unfortunately, there was not a location in Midtown that was budget friendly, that was the right size, and that was just going to do what we needed to do. And so we had to start looking a little further out, which we'll talk about. But because we had to look a little further out, I want to show you what our absolute very first purchase was. Let me turn this camera around. So we purchased this people mover. This is a handicap accessible van. So I'm gonna go around here so you guys can see this. We've got quite a few of our unsheltered friends that are utilizing wheelchairs to get around, and so we wanted to make sure that they had capacity to come with us. So we purchased this so that we are able to do pickups for church services, to do pickups for outreach events. We're also going to be able to use this vehicle, which we're super excited about, to partner with Springfield Street Choir to help get our street choir to performances, to rehearsals, and to lots of different things like that. So this was the very first thing that we purchased. And so tonight, here on the sidewalk, as we did dinner, we announced to our sidewalk what I'm getting ready to share with you all. And so it was really exciting to get to pull this van up and show them that we will in fact have a way to get them out to church services. We'll also be able to take this van. I saw Kelly Commody and Adam, some of you guys jump on here. We're going to be able to also use this to help make, what are you looking for? Oh, to also make runs to help people get IDs, to hopefully do doctor's office visits and all of those kind of things as well. So super excited about that. So, okay, so we've got a few people on here with us. So this is Andrea. If you guys don't know Andrea, she is running our outreach closet right now and is going to be doing so much more, which you'll learn about here as we go through this little tour that we're going to take you on. This is Holly. I think a lot of you guys know Holly. Holly runs our Family Connection program, and she's going to get to share with you some fun updates about that tonight. This is her husband, Scott. And so Scott is helping us develop our iCampus and all of that good stuff that we're going to get to be launching with our new location. This is my husband, Bob, that most of you know, so he's going to chauffeur us. And this, next to me, beautiful friend of mine, this is Jen Simmons. Most of you guys, I think, probably recognize Jen. Jen is the pastor at National Avenue Christian Church. How long have you been at National Avenue?
I've been there 7 years.
7 years. Okay. So here's the reason that I asked my friend Jen to come hang out with me tonight. Because in addition to having a new location and a new vehicle and a lot of other new things, we are also really excited to announce that the Connecting Grounds has made a decision, something that we have been toying with for a while. I think this conversation's been going on for well over a year.
Oh, yes.
Yes, well over a year, that when I would have coffee with Jen or coffee with Phil Snyder, there would be these comments of, hey, you should really check out the Disciples, and just what that could mean in support and community for the Connecting Grounds. And so in this season of all that we have been through and all that we have experienced, really one of my greatest sources of support and friendship has come from those here in our community that are a part of the Disciples of Christ denomination. And so it felt like a really natural fit to us that we made a decision. Just this weekend, actually, we made it official to become a new congregation in formation with the Disciples of Christ Church. And so I just want to ask you, just kind of share a little bit with all of our friends. What is the Disciples? Talk a little bit about, what that denomination stands for, what it represents. And I want you to listen, so many of you knowing us and knowing our heart, to hear how natural a fit that this was for us as we are driving across town. So I'll give you one hint as we're driving. We are currently westbound. So I will tell you that as we're talking here as we drive. So go ahead.
So for me, the Disciples, and what I loved about the Disciples and growing up and being a part of the Disciples, is the focus on the table. Every single week we share communion together as disciples. And it is an extension of what we know and this wide welcome. So one of the things we say is everyone is welcome to the table. And it's not because I say it or because another pastor says it or anybody in the church says it. It's the real truth that God has called us to the table. We were first welcome to share that space. And my favorite thing about the table is that we bring everything to the table. It is messy, it is full of our doubts, it's full of our struggles, it's full of our joys. So around the table, we get to enact and share bread of life. We get to share a cup together and make that true. And not just in the elements that we share, but in the life that we share together. By showing up and being present and really doing the work. Part of the Disciples' vision is to come together around community, spirituality, and justice. And that is lived by being in relationship. It's lived by book studies that you have together. It's lived by the ways you are present in each other's lives and showing up to meet needs and being there together. So that is the central act that we share together every single week. And that's one thing that's true of all disciples, is that table, that's that ritual that we share that connects us. And again, it's not just on a Sunday morning during worship. It's the way that we live our lives together and how we show up and live and feel together. That's really key and central.
Right, absolutely. So, you guys, one of the things I want you to know, for a lot of you that have been connected with the Connecting Grounds and been following all that we are and all that our heart is, some of the things that are really critically valued by us as a church are the elements of justice. It is recognizing and embracing social justice and anti-racism work and embracing those things as a spiritual discipline. And that's something that resonated so much with my heart, because that is very much the heart of the Disciples of Christ. And so talk a little bit, Jen, we were having a conversation right before we went live about how really, in some ways, the Disciples of Christ is providing some leadership in the area of anti-racism work right now in our country for churches of all different congregations and denominations.
So a part of that, we are a movement for wholeness in a fragmented world, and recognizing that there are so many divisions of what we can do and being a part of a movement. Again, not telling people what to believe or how to believe, but really coming to these core key principles of what it is to live social justice. I'm so proud of the Poor People's Campaign, led by William Barber, who is a Disciples minister, and the work that is being done and being led out of that space. Another piece that I was sharing with Christy about some leadership here in our region is doing work on training for anti-racism. Our denomination has made a proclamation. We are a pro-reconciling, anti-racist denomination, and we're going to make steps and strides for that to do training, to have conversations, to read hard books, to have conversation about what is white privilege, what does that mean, and how do we talk about racism, especially in this moment, and how do we do that work together? And that is key and core to the work of disciples and who we are. Each church does that a little bit differently, and we celebrate that, and we love that. And within each church, you'll find people that don't agree about everything. And I love that we can link together in these kind of partnerships and tensions and work through them and have hard conversations.
Right.
I love that about us.
Absolutely. So from the very beginning, the Connecting Grounds has been a church that we have called interdenominational. So I kind of pushed back away from the non-denominational wording simply because I think for many of us, we came from something. We grew up in some kind of a framework, and we bring that framework to the table with us. We bring it in how we understand baptism and how we look at certain concepts in Scripture, about how we look at gender roles, like a lot of different things like that we have to unpackage in the safety of the table. But one of the things that I am really excited about, and I just want to share with you guys as well, is that for me, as we have spent well over a year now kind of exploring this conversation and praying about this, is that I felt very strongly that the Disciples of Christ was the least denominationally denomination. And so I don't know if we can put that on a bumper sticker or not, but it just felt for me like it was going to be a place where continuing to welcome everybody from every experience to the table and to the conversation. You know, we've always embraced since day one that you do not have to have all the answers. You can come with lots of questions. You can come with lots of doubts, and that those don't disqualify us from conversation, from relationship, or anything else. And so talk a little bit just for a second about your experience with that, and just kind of how that connects with you as well.
So for me, that central principle that all are welcome, and again, coming back to the fact, we talk about it a lot, especially out of Genesis, that God looks out on creation and celebrates the goodness of creation. And that ours is to really work towards unpacking and diving deeper into just starting with our goodness out of who we are and what we're claimed. That, again, that welcome is so wide and inclusive and expansive. And I've lived that out in places where we've done the work of open and affirming and really recognizing particularly members of our LGBTQ plus community and really leaning into the fullness of we are beautifully created in God's image and celebrating that with pride. I mean, with just absolute celebration and big hearts. So that has been a key piece for me of really coming to the understanding of that. Again, it happens around the table, and I love and celebrate and hold the diversity of that. We do joke about that as disciples. I mean, many of us. Again, we celebrate being a movement. So it's bigger than about being a denomination, but that we get to find strength in relationship and partnership, and knowing, like what you've called us to so many times, like we can do so much more when we come together, right? And the gifts of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I'm going to pivot our conversation here in just a second, but I wanted to share this with you guys, this news, in the context of all the other things we're sharing tonight, because this is something we're really excited about. This is something that we feel like is such a natural fit for us and for the Connecting Grounds, and just this new chapter that God is starting to write as we begin this new transition and season. I think it's so sweet that you use the word movement, because that's actually kind of the funny play on words that we're calling this season, is that we are calling this the TCG movement. And the idea with that is that, yes, we are on the move, but this is so much more than just the Connecting Grounds finding a new building. This is about a movement in our community that we started on Commercial Street, and it is going to continue as we get ready to travel. And I'm going to talk as I turn, and Mr. Mark Dixon, you'll see something because I see you on here. We're going to be driving by your church here in a minute. So, y'all, we just turned onto West Chestnut Expressway. So we are officially heading to the west side of Springfield, which we are so excited about. And as we keep driving down here, I'm going to share with you some of the reasons that we are so excited about heading to the west side of Springfield. Yes, it is quite a ways from where we've been. But let me tell you a few things. As we got ready to make this transition, a few things were really important to us. When we recognized that we were not going to be able to have a building in Midtown, as we were doing. I just passed Deliverance Mark, so I'm waving at y'all. But anyway, when we realized that we weren't going to be able to stay in Midtown, the very first thing that we started to do, as you saw, with the purchase of this people mover, was we started to figure out ways that we could maintain the work that we have started in this place. That we were not going to abandon our friends, that we were not going to stop the work that we have already started in Midtown. So as much as a lot of people would like us to not be in Midtown, we may not have a building there, but we still have a lot of work there to do. We still have a lot of friends there. We have a lot of people who have called Midtown home much longer than TCG called Midtown home. And in any way, shape, or form. So in addition to a people mover, the other thing that we purchased, and you'll get to see it here in a little while, is we also bought a bright yellow box truck, so you cannot miss it when it is coming down the road. But we are going to be outfitting that box truck with shelves, and we are literally going to be able to load that box truck full of shoes and hot hands and coats and socks and sunscreen and bug spray and all of the other things that we do during sidewalk outreach right now. and we'll still be able to meet those immediate needs. Like tonight, right before we got on the van, we had a young woman that had missed dinner and she needed a couple of meals, but she had no shoes on. She was literally walking from her house, which I know where her house is. It was several blocks away, and she was barefoot as she did it. And so I was able just to run next door to the closet. We were able to get her a pair of shoes and a pair of socks so that she could go home with shoes on her feet. And that's exactly what we'll still be able to do out of the box truck. And so that is something that we're thrilled and excited about. We are currently working with a couple of different churches in Midtown so that we will be able to use their parking lot. And we will still roll into Midtown on the nights that we were already doing outreach dinner on the sidewalk. And so we've been doing a Tuesday night dinner, we've been doing a Sunday dinner, and so those will continue in Midtown out of the box truck. We also have acquired a food truck, which we're super excited about. That was a gift. Katrin has joined our leadership team. Katrin's been a part of Gathering Friends for a long time, and so through our ongoing partnership with Gathering Friends, as well as her church that she is coming from, Hood Methodist, they were able to donate this food trailer. And so we're stopped at a stoplight, so I'm going to give you a quick peek. We are at West Bypass and West Chestnut, so we're still headed west. So we're really going west side. So anyway, but as we keep driving out here, yes, we were joking we needed shirts that were like straight out of the north side, west side, here we come kind of thing. So we'll see. Anyway, we have this food trailer that's been donated, so we're going to be able to keep up with our ever-growing need for food meals during outreach. We've been averaging back up around 175 to 180 again, so we're really excited. So mobile outreach to Midtown is going to continue, but here's what's really exciting, y'all, and that is the west side of Springfield. When you look at the demographics of the west side of Springfield, they mirror almost to the decimal point the poverty rates of Midtown. And so there's a different kind of poverty on the west side of Springfield that we have been able to notice. There's a lot more families that are just, trying to make ends meet as best they can. But there is also a very large unsheltered population on the west side of Springfield who has very limited access to services currently. There are not a lot of outreach services on the west side of town. And so the more that we explored that, the more that we were listening to our community and trying to do what we've always tried to do, which is fill gaps, we just recognized that there was a really big need over here that we could fill as well. So we're going to be able to maintain our outreach level in Midtown while also expanding and increasing outreach to the west side of Springfield, which is so incredibly exciting for me. So I'm going to turn this around because we are just about to pull into our driveway. And so here's what's really cool. Through our partnership with the Disciples of Christ and in joining them in fellowship and community, this property became available to us and is literally going to be something where we're not going to have to invest in paying for a building, but we are going to have to do quite a bit of work on this property. And so we're gonna actually take you guys on a quick little tour and show you that. So this is the old Gateway Christian Church property. It sits at 4341 West Chestnut Expressway. I'm gonna jump off the van and give you guys a tour. Here's the first thing I want you to notice, and that is that we have grass. We brought a whole van load of some of our unsheltered friends who are part of our leadership and just volunteer all the time. And the very first thing that they yelled when we pulled in this parking lot was, "There's grass and trees." They were so excited. So I'm going to kind of pan around here. So right now, the driveway that we just pulled in pulls right off of Chestnut, and that's something that we would down the road like to change the layout of this property just a bit, so that the entrance is actually off of this side road, just to make things a little bit safer for everybody. We'll be expanding this parking lot. Say hi, Holly. All the way back to that tree line with gravel so that we can get some more cars in here. We're going to be putting a fence up between our building and the church right next door, as well as a fence around the rest of the property, just to be safe for kiddos. So, hey, Holly. Okay, so I'm going to grab Holly, and we're going to go take a walk over here. This building, this little house, is going to become our Family Connection Center. And so I'm going to let Holly give us a little tour here. I want you to tell them the story as we're walking up here. Right before we found out about this property, you were sharing that you had this crazy vision dream to what? Go ahead and share that while we walk.
Okay, yeah. So most of you should know that the Family Connection Program is the program that we developed, that we started, where we get to supervise visits for families that are in the foster care system. And so we have trained volunteers that supervise visits for those kiddos to spend time with their parents during usually a season of a lot of crisis for them, and trying to work through a lot of things together. And we've had a beautiful space that the community really came together and helped us build in our shopping center. But there was still something that I would go into that space and just felt like it still felt like in a big open space in a shopping center. And while we were praying about, there's Carlin. While we were praying about a new location and where we were going to have that location, I just had this vision, this dream that a dream, like a literal dream while I was sleeping, that we were given a house or an apartment. Can't really put a name on it, but it was the most homey experience. It was, you walked in and there was couches, and it just felt like a small, intimate space where those families could spend time together. And I told Christy that. And it was probably the next day or the next couple of days that we found out about this property. And her comment to me was, and Holly, it has a house that we could do our supervised visits at. So I'm probably going to cry because I'm like so moved by this. But this is going to be our adorable little building where we're going to get to host visits, and it looks homey, it feels homey. Well, not yet, because it needs some love.
It needs a lot of love.
I know we're gonna be able to put like a fence up so that there's a large privacy fence, so that we're not like right next to scary.
Make it safe for the kids.
Yes, make it safe. But you guys, we're gonna have an adorable little porch. I see like hanging plants and like a swing and like a safe place for some of our families to just get to come and to get to hang out when the weather's nice outside, getting to have some of those hard conversations, or just getting to process and spend time together. So here's like this adorable little porch. Trying to get inside.
Here, you hold this. I gotta find the right key.
Okay. So yeah, something that we've always had that has been missing has been the element of something outside. I know something that's a huge gap, something that I've been grieving over. So I know having the grass will allow us to have a playground in the backyard. Guys, we're gonna have like picnic tables so they can go out and like have a picnic together. I want to see like us get some quilts where they can just lay that on the grass. So they have a safe place where they can play games outside, just be outside in this beautiful, gorgeous, fresh air. We're gonna go inside now. This is
okay. So hold on. Before we go inside, so we want to show you. We're going to show you what things look like now, and then we want to show you, and we're going to invite you and share with you some ways that you can help us meet this vision to be what Holly's talking about, because it's going to need a lot of love. So we actually have two separate fundraising campaigns that I'm going to share with you tonight, and they're actually one giant campaign, but I'm going to explain them to you in two separate ways. So the first one is, and I'm going to be really honest with you, these are big numbers and they're kind of scary. So when I preached on Sunday night and I talked about looking at the mountain and having faith and keeping our eyes on God who's calling us and not on the big scary numbers, this is where I'm talking from. So we are going to have to be raising about $100,000 to renovate this property. And I know some of you are like, that's it. And then some of us are like, holy cow, that's a lot of money. So, but anyway, so I want to show you what it looks like now, because we want to show you a tour of this place when it's all done and just be able to celebrate what God is doing. So this building has a lot of roof damage, so it's going to get a new roof. It's had a lot of water damage. Jen, this building's been empty for how long? 2 or 3 years? Okay. So we got water damage on the floor. And over here we have a lot of water damage where the ceiling is literally fallen in. Over here is a little kitchenette that's going to get totally redone. This bar is actually going to get taken out. And so one of the things that's really cool is we actually are going to be flipping the layout of these properties. So this is the back door right now. This is actually going to be the front door when we're done. So I'm going to turn them like this. So families will walk in like this, and there's a cute little bathroom over there with a clawfoot bathtub that I don't think we need. But go ahead, Holly. You walk them through real quick what you think this space is going to look like.
Yeah, so I think one of the things I'm most excited about is, yes, it's smaller, but I think it's going to allow us to do a lot more visits a lot more often, where those can be a lot more intimate. We'll only have one or two at a time. We're doing that right now with COVID restrictions, and I think that there's just something where there's some unique ability for them just to have that time that's a little bit more sacred. I think when we come in, you're going to have a little bit more of a kitchen feel. I know we're not going to have all the amenities, but being able to have a microwave and having a sink and having some dishes that we're going to be able to wash, that just feels a little bit more homey. We're going to have like a dining room table so that it actually feels like they can sit down and have a meal together. They can play board games together. That there's just some of those experiences that they are not having at that time. We're going to have bookshelves that are going to line some of the walls, and they're going to have books, and they're going to have games, and they're going to have craft supplies, and all those things with all different options for them to pick from. We're going to have couches, and so there's going to be, and we'll probably have a projector up where we can still do like a movie from time to time. You guys, this space, like, it's terrifying, but there's also, I'm going to cry. There's also like, I think there's just something about this that hopefully feels like healing. It feels more like home. It feels like a safe space, and that's what oftentimes we see is the most needed in those moments. That there's just a place for emotion, there's a place for time, there's a place to just put aside everything else that's going on and just focus on that relationship. For families that are working towards reunification, that's the most important thing. Is just to have that time together. It usually starts with just once a week, and so to just maximize that time to give them what feels like intimate, safe, sacred space is something that I am so excited about. We're going to have like pictures and kids' artwork on the walls. I just want this to feel like theirs when they walk in here. That our supervisors don't feel like, that professional, you're coming into a sterile environment, that this just feels like a safe place for everything that they get to spend time doing together.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are really excited. So work days are going to be a thing. And so here's the thing. I know a lot of youth groups, a lot of churches have had to cancel mission trips because of COVID restrictions. And so if you have a group at your church that would like to do some really amazing time together and get to make a difference, we've got a website sign-up sheet on our website. You can go there right now, theconnectinggrounds.com. There's a button that you can push on the home page that says to sign up for volunteer, and there's a form you can fill out. You can let us know if it's just you that wants to come and help, or if you've got a group and how big that size is, some things you might be interested in doing, because we're going to need all different skill sets from demo to painting to roofing and all kinds of things. So the more that we can get people to come out and do that and volunteer those things, the more that we are able to redirect resources into renovating and right into our families and our community outreach programs. So super excited about that. So I'm going to walk down these stairs and focus on what I'm doing. So like we said, we'd really like to flip the layout of this property. So in our vision, we're hoping that we're going to be able to figure out a way to get a fence across this front area, which will actually then allow us to put a playground back here in some of this green space. And it will allow us to also turn some of this driveway right here into more green space and picnic tables and things like that. So I'm going to take you into what is currently the front door of the building, and when we're finished, it will actually be the back door of the building. But we're going to go take a peek at the worship center. All right. It's a really great Mexican place right there. If you can see it, Plaza Mexico. If you've never eaten there, I highly recommend it. Okay, so this is the worship center. Here's what I love. It's got a maximum occupancy of 130 in here. And here's why I love that, because I'm just a big believer that church doesn't have to be big to make a big impact. And I think that there's something really cool about small, intimate places that just feel like home. And so we're excited to get to renovate this space to feel a little bit more homey. We're going to be replacing pews with chairs. We're going to be painting and putting down some new flooring. There's quite a bit of mold damage in here. There was a broken pipe in here in the worship center that was left unaddressed for a while. So quite a bit of water damage in here as well that we're going to be able to work with. We're excited to get to put an iCampus in here with a camera. That's something we did not do prior to COVID at TCG, but with just recognizing we have a lot of hyper vulnerable people in our family, and so we just want to make sure church is going to be accessible to them. So we're really excited about that. We're going to be doing some new layout in here. This is currently the back door, so I'm going to sneak over here. This is what will become the front door, and I'm going to turn these lights. Oh, they're already on. Where that opening is right there is actually going to become a wall. And where Bob is standing is going to be a doorway. This wall is going to go away, and we're going to go into the next room, which I will show you some epic shag carpeting.
It really is epic.
It really is epic. You got to see this. Check that out. So we will be pushing into this room, and the shag carpeting will probably go away. And so it will kind of become our coffee bar area, gathering area space. We're going to have a resource room over here, which we're excited about, which will be kind of storage, but also board games and all of that kind of stuff for families to get to do together. You can see along the wall down there, that's where you can start to see some of the real mold damage that we're going to have to deal with. Most of the floor in here is going to have to come up, and new subflooring is going to have to go down. This is the bathroom where the pipe actually broke, and so there's quite a bit of mold damage that we're going to, but yeah, doesn't scare us. You should have seen our current place when we started. So we got fun stuff growing on the walls, and girls' bathroom. And then this room I'm really excited about, y'all. Currently this was functioning as an office, but we are actually going to turn this little room, it's just right here off of the worship center, you can see right there. It won't be an office, but it will actually be a sensory room, where we're going to have couches in here. This will be a safe place, like if moms need to step outside to nurse if they'd like to, or if they've got a fussy baby, or we've got some individuals that connect with our congregation that are sensory sensitive. And so we want to be able to have some subdued lighting in here. We want to be able to have a little less noise. We want to be able to just create a safe space in here for some of our families and individuals that would benefit from that. So that's something we're really, really excited about. So, okay, I'm going to head back out the back door because I got a couple more things to show you here. And then you'll notice something that is missing from this property. And I'm going to show you as I go out here. You guys ready? So what you will notice is that's all the building space, and we don't have room to house all of our outreach stuff here. This little garage wasn't going to cut it, because if you've been to TCG, we have a lot of outreach stuff, because we have an amazing community that just keeps loving and pouring out, and we're so grateful. So this little garage has a concrete slab on the floor, and our long-term vision will be to try to convert that into a standalone commercial kitchen so that we can use that for meal prep, for the food truck, and for community meals and a lot of other things. But I'm going to turn this around. We needed an outreach building because we're TCG. We have to have an outreach space. So we have a cool story to share with you. We actually are under contract on a commercial building just down the street that is going to become the new TCG Community Outreach Center. And so we're going to load back up in the car. we're gonna load back up in the truck. It's not very far at all, and I want to take you down here and show it to you. And I'm gonna tell you a fun story while we're driving. Thank you. I almost left my Diet Coke on the ground. That'd be bad. Okay, I'm gonna let them all get on first. So we have been under contract for just a couple of days. Huge shout out to Brandon Carroll from Murney Realty. He was amazing. If you guys need somebody to help you with that, holy cow. He was just absolute godsend. We're so grateful for him. All right. No, you're great. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna tell you this story while we drive because it's not very far. So, gosh, okay. There we go. Let's see here. How long ago was it, you guys? Maybe it was probably 2 weeks before we found out about this property. We had just found out that we needed to move the connecting grounds, and we had an individual come up to us at outreach and said, "Hey, we have a commercial building. Would you be interested in it?" And they wrote down the address, and honestly, it was a crazy night, and I got busy and I got distracted, and I put the piece of paper in my bag, and I went home, and I didn't even think about it for a couple of days. And one night, Holly and Scott were over, and Bob and I were sitting there, the four of us were sitting there talking, and Bob made the comment, "We just need someone to like show up and say, hey, I have a building." And I was like, oh my gosh, somebody did that the other night. And so I grabbed this address out of my bag, and we all pile in Holly and Scott's minivan, and we drove. And my exact words, I believe, were, we don't want this building. It's too far on the west side. Like, this isn't the area of town that we're gonna be in. And so there's no way. I wrote it off because I was looking at it through my eyes, my perspective, what I wanted and how I wanted to see God work. So fast forward, we're looking at all of these different properties in Midtown, and just none of them are adding up on paper, and none of them are working out. We're looking at numbers, $400,000, $600,000 by the time you purchased something and renovated something, and that just, it was not going to fly. And so we started praying and saying, okay, God, if you've got someplace else you want us to be other than Midtown, you're going to have to show us. And it was literally right after that Phil Snyder got a hold of me and said, hey, there's this church property, but it's kind of far away from where you want to be, but I just felt like I'm supposed to share it with you. And so he gives me the address, and as soon as I looked at the address, I was like, okay, sometimes we need to recognize when God is working, and we just need to be willing to join him where he's working. And so the outreach building that we are under contract on is that commercial building that they brought us that night at outreach that we wrote off, because it is literally maybe 3/4 of a mile from our church building. And so we have been under contract for just a handful of days. We got keys just the other day. Andrea and I have spent a couple of very hot and sweaty days. So this property used to be a thrift store, flea market, and it is still relatively full of things. And so you'll get to see that here in just a second. But here's what's really exciting. We're almost there. I'm going to turn this around. So anyway, we're going to be having a massive garage sale at this location next Saturday. So watch for that Facebook event tomorrow that we'll put up there. If you are like shopping for furniture, then this is where you want to shop. Okay, not this Saturday, next Saturday. Sorry. Okay, so we're pulling up on it right here. It is the old Frisco Flea and Furniture. So it's this building right here with the green awning. This building, you guys, is crazy God. That's just like all I have to say. It is 6,000 square feet that is going to be able to be pure outreach. And so I'm going to walk you through here really quick and just show you, but I'm also going to show you how much more, like, we just wanted to be able to do what we were already doing. God wanted to expand what we were doing so much so that it kind of blows our socks off. So I'm going to take you around here really quick. Okay, so this building sits at the corner of Chestnut and Hillcrest. All right, so I'm going to walk around here to the front of it. We pulled in the side, and you'll see why we pulled on the side when we get done here. Okay. Will you have him make sure he opens the doors? Okay, I'm going to take you to the front right here. Okay. So, I'm going to walk you in here, and I'm going to share with you, this would be our second crazy. This would be our second crazy fundraising need, because here's our big giant prayer. I'm a huge believer in the power of prayer, and I'm a huge believer that God wants our detailed prayer. If we're doing things that terrify us and keep us on our knees, then we're probably not doing enough. And so this is going to keep me on my knees for a while, because our big giant prayer is that we actually don't have to take out a loan to close this building. We are praying like crazy that our community will rally around the idea of having an outreach center here on the west side of town, and they will come together, and handfuls of change and dollar bills and whatever else can come is going to make this possible, so that beyond this, everything that we can do goes straight into outreach and goes into helping people that need it so desperately. So I'm going to turn this around and give you an idea of what we're going to be able to do here. Saturday, this is our first workday location. So these dividers, which were part of the thrift store, are going to be gone. We're going to be taking down pegboards and paneling, and this will become one giant open room. What I'm so excited about for some of you guys that are on here that I know are doing day-to-day work with our unsheltered population, with domestic violence victims, with people who are having to start all over, is our vision is to create a voucher store where we can do household items and furniture and toasters and bedding and blankets and towels and little kids' beds and everything else out of this space that moms released from Harmony House, that families who get housed through the kitchen or through Burroughs programs or at One Door, that they're going to be able to come down here, and we're going to be able to help get them all set up. And so that's something that just absolutely makes me so excited about, because it's something we don't have room to do right now at the Connecting Grounds. We don't have room for furniture, and we don't have room for beds. And so back here in this room, this will become our clothing bank. And so that's super exciting. We'll be able to do what we've already got going. And so just continuing to offer, clothes of every kind, kids' clothes. And we've got a lot of people, grandparents that take custody of grandkids, and other family who can come and be able to get clothing. We were hoping to have the power on in this building for y'all tonight to show you a little bit more. Sadly, that did not happen. There were a couple complications. That big black space right there is actually a room, and that room is going to become laundry facilities, and so we're really, really excited about that. This room over here that is dark that you can't see is going to be a shoe room. Shoes are one of the biggest things that we give away. Our unsheltered population in Springfield walks an average of 5 to 10 miles a day, and that's on a good day. And so sometimes shoes, especially if they are inexpensive shoes, they may only last a week or so because they just literally walk right out of them. This room over here that you also really can't see, I know, I'm sorry. But this big space in here is going to be able to become a bicycle parts room. We're going to have bicycle repair tools in here for our friends that bikes are the best and only way that they can get around the city. This is huge, because this is something that we have a huge gap for in our community right now. So we're really excited to be able to do that. So this giant room, this is the site of what we are organizing for our sale. But eventually, this room will become a location where people can come in and literally be able to shop for what they need. We'll have a food pantry back here. We will have hygiene items back here. We'll have all kinds of different things back here, backpacks and everything else. That room overside is going to be our donations area. And so we are just going to have so much more space to do the stuff that we've already been doing, to service the families we've already been serving, but be able to do even more. And so we are crazy excited about this location. And so there's a couple of cool things back here in the courtyard that I want to show you really quick before we call it a night. The first one is this. Ouch. Okay, so this is our beautiful bright yellow box truck that we talked about. And so we're going to be painting that and getting all that on there. But this is going to be the truck that's outfitted, and we're going to be able to park it right back here at the Outreach Center so that we can keep it stocked. And so a lot of the same stuff that we'll have in the Outreach Center, we're going to be able to put on the box truck, which is really exciting. Over here is the food truck that I was telling you about, the food trailer. So this is super exciting, and I don't have keys to get into it tonight, so I can't show you the inside of it because Kat wasn't able to join us. But it is beautiful and it is amazing, and it's going to be a huge help to help feed a lot of people around our city. The very last thing that I want to share with you is just one more crazy cool God story and one more cool little asset that God has provided. So as we started doing all of this and we started looking at everything, the one thing that we were like, man, where are we going to put our medical stuff? We've been doing a lot of just medical outreach on the sidewalk. We've had a lot of amazing friends, J.R. Chappell and Elisa Coonrod and others. We've had EMTs and nurses just come and volunteer their time just to wound care and basic first aid and just checking blood pressures and some of those kind of simple things that can keep very small things, rather than very small things becoming large things and sources of infection, and especially in the summer as people are hot and sweaty and those kind of things. And so we were just kind of really praying through that. What do we do? And what are we going to do for just that medical outreach that's become such a critical component that we've discovered? And so we started talking about, man, what if we had a second box truck? What if we had a second vehicle that we could dedicate as like a first aid vehicle, literally? And that really wasn't in the budget at all. And so, but yet nonetheless, we were at dinner one night and one of our team members sent me a picture of a box truck and said, hey, would you be interested in this? And the price point was pretty reasonable, low. And so I thought, man, let's at least go take a look at it. And so we drove over and took a look at it. And as we walked up to this gentleman and said, hey, we're here to take a look at your box truck, he said, you mean your box truck? And I was like, no, we're here to look at your box truck. And he said, no, Bobby said that you were coming over, and as I was sitting here waiting for you, I just felt like God said, this isn't your truck anymore. You need to give it to those people that are coming, because there's some work I need them to do with it. And so literally, he handed us the keys to this beauty. Let me turn this around. So this is our new first aid wound care outreach vehicle that we're going to be able to outfit with medical. Bob wants to paint it olive green and turn it into a MASH van. It's got a sunglasses rack in the back that we didn't get pulled out before tonight. So that's what that is in the middle. But it's already got shelving built into it, which is going to be really cool. We've got an exam table that we're going to be able to slide right in there. It's got the capacity for us to do lights and all kinds of things like that. And so we're going to be able to soak feet and, just simple things that need to be done. But when you are trying to survive on the streets, especially in hard weather, like I said, those small things can become big things really quickly, and they can become really scary really fast. We almost lost one of our girls on the street. She was in her late 20s, and we almost lost her to a mosquito bite. She had a mosquito bite on her neck, and the more she scratched with fingernails that weren't always able to be clean and didn't have access to showers, the more infected that it became. Literally, she ended up in the burn unit, having to have a skin graft done on her neck because the infection was so bad. And so when I say that simple wound care can literally save lives, I'm not kidding. And so this is just an unbelievable godsend. So this is the second half of the new TCG vision on the west side of Springfield. And so we're going to need to raise about $250,000 to be able to pay cash for this building, to repair the roof, and to do a little bit of things that we need to do to make this building safe and operational, and to get vehicles equipped so that we can just keep doing what we are called to do. And so in total, that's a scary That's really loud, right when you start to talk about numbers. So that's our big scary number that we are praying, and we're asking you to pray with us, is that we are praying that God will help us to raise $350,000 in 6 weeks. And I serve a God who I believe is capable of doing that. Because I believe that God does not call us to anything that he's not going to provide for. And so we are just trusting God to be faithful. He has proven that time and time again. He has been so good. He has just literally taken us by the hand and led us to this part of town. He has carved out these spaces and these places. He has set these tables before us. And so we are asking for you as our community to come around and to support this new work and to be a part of this, because this isn't about our church getting credit. This isn't about any denomination getting credit. This is about the community of Springfield doing what the community of Springfield is amazing at doing, and that is coming together to love on those who are in need and to do a great new thing. And so this is an opportunity for all of us to do that. So you're going to be hearing lots of opportunities. We are, like we said, we'll be having a sale here. We've actually got some super cool t-shirts that we're going to be releasing here in a few weeks. We're going to be asking churches to consider taking up a special love offering on July the 12th as just a one-time love offering that they could give to help us support the work that we're doing here in this community. We're asking just one-time gifts of anything that you are able to give to make a difference. You know, a couple nights ago, this may make me cry, and I don't cry very often. But a couple nights ago, we were at Outreach, and I had a gentleman that walked up to me, and he handed me a $5 bill. And he said, I heard that you're getting a new place, and I don't know where it's at yet, but I know you'll find a way to get us there. And I just want to be a part of whatever God's doing there. And so he handed me this $5 bill, and everything in me wanted to say, no, you hang on to that. And he said, this is all that I can do, but I feel like God said, you've got to be a part of this somehow. And so I just want you to know that whether it's $1 or $5 or $100 or $1,000, I believe that God's going to provide for this place as each of us come together. And we're going to be able to stand back in just a few weeks at the start of August, and we're going to be able to say, look at God, look what he did. Look what we did when he brought us all together to do something really amazing. So that was our heart as the Connecting Grounds from the very beginning, was to be a place that brought people together in faith, in love, in relationship, but also in doing good. And so this is my invitation to you to join us in doing some good in our community and bringing some hope to the west side of Springfield, to breathing some new endeavors into the west side of Springfield, and to continuing the good work that we have already started in Midtown. So I am so incredibly excited to share with you updates as we keep going. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us for an hour on here tonight and checking all of this out. Thank all of you guys for coming with us tonight and taking time out of your schedule to show everybody around. How are you guys feeling? Excited. Yes. Yay. Bob may not be super excited. We literally feel like we just finished renovating on Commercial Street. And so there's a little bit of us that's like, oh boy, here we go again. But you know what? God's going to provide strength that's equal to the task.
And we're moving.
Yes. 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 As a family? Yes. As a family, we're also moving. Yes. Yeah. We don't know what that's going to look like yet. We're still trying to figure that out. But we want to make sure we're a part of the community that we're loving on. So we're going to head this direction too. So, all right. Well, we're going to sign off. If you guys need anything or have questions, feel free to reach out to us. Our Facebook page is going to be the best place to keep things updated. But right now on our website, theconnectinggrounds.com, you can go, you can check out, you can, sign up to volunteer, you can give gifts, you can learn a little bit more about who we are and all that's happening and how to get involved. So we love you guys. Thank you. We will talk to you all very soon. Night.